Most importantly, they need to know why they have become a doctor. It is a commitment to the society. It is a commitment to the human mankind that you are there to serve them.
You are a mother, you are an entrepreneur, you are a medical director, XYZ. There are many accolades to you. How do you balance all this?
First year is really brutal even in the US. Like it's 80 hours was is what we work, and if actually we work more than that, but still the compliance was for 80 hours.
My God! And in that process, you became a mom.
I just left my newborn who was like 4 weeks old at home and went back to my postings.
So how do you handle those setbacks and disappointment?
Thinking about setbacks, feeling like a victim, crying on about it also doesn't help. Thinking very positive and thinking that the things will sort out by itself also will not work. You have to be practical. You have to be practico-optimist.
Being a doctor, we always feel that we need to contribute to the healthcare industry. So what is your vision for the healthcare industry?
The clinical governance, the clinical outcomes have to become the core, and that have to be shown as what healthcare industry is all about.
नमस्ते। आप सब ने देखा होगा डॉक्टरों को व्हाइट कोट में हीलिंग करते हुए, बट रेयरली हमने उनकी पर्सनल जिंदगी देखी होगी जो उन्हें बनाता है जो वो आज हैं। तो आज हम झांकेंगे उन व्हाइट कोट के पीछे और मिलेंगे डॉक्टर चंद्रिका कमम से, नॉट एज अ फिजिशियन बट एज अ वुमन जिनकी जर्नी में महत्वपूर्ण रिलेशनशिप्स हैं, कल्चरल शिफ्ट्स हैं, मदरहुड है और कुछ करने का एक जुनून है। Welcome to Doc Diaries, where we explore the human heart within healthcare. Welcome Dr. Chandrika to Doc Diaries.
Namaste Preeti. Thanks for having me. And I really appreciate and very happy to see your initiative on Doc Diaries, which is not only looking at our professional journey, but who we are as a person. I think this is really something different, which I have not seen anybody doing it. And I congratulate you for that.
Thank you
and
so
I'm
much.
very happy to be here on your show.
Very humbled and very honored. So on this note, let's start. So beyond your impressive resume, Dr. Chandrika, how would you describe yourself with the lens of experiences what you have? That who is Dr. Chandrika?
Yeah. So thank you for asking that question, because many times we really forget who we are.
Absolutely
You know,
right.
every day life goes on, there's so many things happening, and it is very important to pause and introspect. And today I think in this show it's probably more than you discovering about me. Probably I might discover a lot about myself.
That is actually true. What we have people coming on this show, when they go back retrospectively, they also say कि अच्छा हमको तो बहुत सारी memories याद रही. We remembered everything. So yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yeah. So I'll be turning 50 this year. So I have 50 years of journey and discovering myself. And every time I surprise myself, who am I as a person? I think the basic thing is I'm very, very focused, very disciplined, and as you said, I want to do something and achieve something in life which is meaningful for me, for my family, and for people at large. And being a doctor has given me that ability to do that, and I don't want that to go waste.
Right.
So I think if I have to put it in one word, I'm constantly evolving, a person who loves to learn, and a person who is very sincere, hardworking, and love my family, and also I'm very, very empathetic towards people. So that is, I think, what describes me as a person.
Perfect. You have summed it up so beautifully. So now let's go back to your childhood. Now when you were small, you were very shy and a very quiet little girl. And so just paint us a picture about your family and who were there in your family. Was it a nuclear family or a joint family?
Yeah, I come from a very nuclear family. So we were three sisters. My parents brought us up very in a normal way. So there was never a discrimination between, okay, you are girls, you can't do this, or you're boys, they can do that, and things like that. We were given very open field to play and create whatever we wanted with our lives. They encouraged us quite a bit in everything, whatever endeavors we wanted to do, whether it was studies, though we did not have that many opportunities to do extracurricular activities. But definitely when it came to studies or encouraging us to do whatever path we chose for ourselves, they were always there. So it was pretty much a normal childhood, playing around, and my father used to work in University of Agricultural Science
Bangalore?
in Bangalore. So we were surrounded by fields. So we were like playing all the time, and apart from running around in the fields, we would do was like to study. So these were the only two things, and of course helping mother around at home. And we were very self-sufficient and very creative from childhood. And I think it also comes from my mother, who was also very creative. She would also constantly do something, stitching, métier work, embroidery, and these type of things. And I think seeing her do that, kind of, we also picked up a lot of such hobbies, and we would immerse ourselves in these activities during summer, and other than that, like, we were studying most of the time.
Nice. The picture is very, enticing, I would say. Now, you are saying that you were the eldest in your family. You have two younger sisters. तो eldest में क्या होता है कि सारे sense of responsibility होती है. You become very responsible. So how did being the eldest of the family shape you?
I definitely I am very responsible. I'm not sure whether because I'm elder I'm responsible, or by nature I am like that. I feel very responsible towards my duties, especially with my immediate family, and then the team, my work, and every other aspect of my life. I take it quite responsible and serious.
So as a nature,
I am like that.
Like you're
So,
responsible.
yes,
Not
yes.
being the eldest made you responsible.
Yeah. So probably even if I am the youngest, I would have been the same, I feel.
Yeah, now that we can't even, think about it.
yeah.
Yes. So, okay, wow. That's, now we understood it's not being the eldest that made you responsible, just the nature. It is the inbuilt nature you have.
Yes.
Now, coming to when you're still small, you were actually, you told us you were very shy, and then you were not keeping well most of the time, as you had told that. But something happened in your 7th grade.
Yes.
That made your look towards life, change. So what was it?
Yeah. So as a child, I was always sick. And I think in a month, I would not go to school at least 4 or 5 days. Every month, I would fall sick. So my parents would never pressurize me for studies. They just wanted me to be healthy and get over all the low immunity infections and the fevers that I was used to have very frequently. So that kind of probably set me back in school. So I wasn't doing that great. My grades were like, if there are 50 students in class, I would be the 50th one.
But didn't you feel at that time that you were like maybe in class 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
So we don't feel also, we are not bothered. But did you feel that, oh, my grades are not coming good or something? Did you have that feeling inside?
I used to, because my sister was very good at studies. She was always first or second in class, and I was always the last in class. And since studies and education was so important in our family, so I used to feel that, what am I doing? Why am I like this?
But normally you were, because it's not under your control. It was never under your control.
It was not under my control. I don't know what I was thinking, and I was probably weak, physically also. So I think as I grew up, like 6th and 7th grade, I kind of became quite strong. I was not falling sick that often. So I think that also helped me to kind of start thinking and taking my studies seriously, taking myself seriously. And I said, like, I cannot always play victim game and blaming so many circumstances for my failure.
I'm not
and,
well.
Yeah, I'm not well. I don't know. I'm, all these excuses that we give.
Right.
And I said, no more excuses. I have to just get the work done. So that's when I started studying. And
So it all came in your mind by yourself only.
yes,
No one
yes,
told you
no
कि नहीं.
one told me. Yeah, yeah.
मतलब 7th class matlab I can say around 12 years old.
Yes, yes.
So that means from beginning only you had a very clear mindset.
Yes, definitely. I was very clear, and I was always, I think, over mature for my age, which was probably a disadvantage.
Yes,
because you miss
missing
out
childhood.
Yeah, you miss out on a lot of things that you're supposed to be enjoying at that particular time.
If you had an option, now suddenly a question popped up. If you had an option, would you go back to your childhood and say कि नहीं नहीं मुझे बच्चा बनना है?
No, I think I had a good childhood. I had a mix of both. So until 7th grade, I was like, did nothing, just lazed around and enjoyed that part of my life as well.
Okay.
And 7th grade onwards, I started taking my studies seriously and started achieving good grades, and kind of, that also helped my future as I kind of progressed in my studies. So I think I had a mix of both.
Understood. So now let's come back there. You're still 10 years to 15 years. We are there, and you grew up in an agricultural background, that is in midst of fields and everything, in a very quiet life and very simple life. So how did that atmosphere shape you? Was that what did it influence you anytime by any chance?
Yes, everything we are is because of our experiences.
Right.
So childhood plays a major role in the type of a person that you become. So I was from a very, very secure, happy family. So parents were great. They were great partners. My father and mother were like absolutely in sync with each other.
Oh, wow.
And 3 siblings and neighbors, kids and
festivals.
Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed. And my father was a person who would really enjoy small pleasures in life, whether it was bringing new clothes for us or festivals, doing everything together as a family. So it was really, really a good time, and shaped me as a person who I am. That security definitely comes from that that upbringing, where I don't feel threatened or
it was very secure childhood.
Yes,
right.
yes.
You said that you were close to your father, but your mother was a disciplinarian. So how did those two different people, like mother strict, father was very lovey-dovey, because obviously fathers are more lovey-dovey towards daughters. Normally it happens. So how did that difference in both parents, did that influence you at any time or something like that?
It didn't influence me. It just gave us the strength, because though the father was the softer aspect, and the mother was always a bad cop and father was a good cop, but they were always in sync.
Right.
My father would never contradict anything that my mother would tell us. So he would always say that yes, ultimately you have to follow what she's telling.
Yeah, so altogether it was a very nice childhood.
Yes,
and you would
definitely.
If given an opportunity, you would love to relive it again.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Now we are growing up, and we are gone into our 10th, and we have gone to 12th, and now there's a time to choose our careers. You had an option of choosing medicine or engineering, but you diverted towards medicine. What was the pull that made you go towards medicine?
See, like traditional Indian mindset, right? You either become a doctor or an engineer.
Yes.
So my father was a major influence in that. So I had got a very good seat both in engineering as well as in medicine. So he was very particular that I take up medicine, because he said, for future it is good. And at that time I wasn't really sure, because it's such a long journey, 5 years of medicine, 3 years of residency, and then finally I start earning, and there were nobody in my family who were doctors.
The first doctor in the family.
First doctor in the family. So though I had 2 of my cousins, my mother's side cousins, who were into medicine, but they were also like me. They were just 1 year. One was same age as me, and the other one was like 2 years older to me. So So they were just entering, the professional education. So
So
we
no
didn't-
guidance,
yeah,
no guidance
yeah,
on
no
कि करना
guidance.
चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए.
So since my father said take up medicine, I said, oh, okay, fine, I'll take up
So
medicine.
listening to elders कि ठीक है भाई, they must be knowing better than us.
Yes.
So now you chose medicine and you went to a medical college. So describe your journey in those 5 years. You must have learned something from there. So
Yes, definitely. Medical college, again, like my childhood, shaped me who I am, and many of those experiences taught me how to live with a very little resource, and how you can make your life still meaningful in those 5 years. The climate was brutal. The terrain was very difficult.
Not like Bangalore.
Not like Bangalore, definitely. Back then, the temperatures would go up to 45 degrees, and in that weather, we were supposed to go do our clinical rotations and stay in call rooms. It was a government medical college, so the patients were like all the time. We were loaded with patients. So though we learned a lot clinically, all those knowledge definitely helps you and makes you a better doctor. But at the same time, you have to live those harsh conditions. So living there as a professional definitely made me very strong. But as a person also, like I kind of got some good friends, made good friends, which are for life. We still hang out. I have like 3 girlfriends from my Bellary days, where I constantly keep in touch with them, and the moment I am with them, we are back to our 90s,
college, yeah.
the college days.
I know.
And that is where I actually till 12 years, that 18 years I was at home, right? The 12 years of schooling, I never ventured out on my own. So it was
give you
always,
space
it was always with parents. So those 5 years I started going out with my friends. The first time we went out for having food in the restaurants. First time we saw movies on my own with my friends. So that was a period where all these famous movies got released, like DDLJ.
Those are our years.
Yeah, DDLJ and Bazigar, Dar, and all those movies. So very, very fond memories of Bellary. Though it was again a mix, right? Very
Changed
harsh.
you a little bit.
Yeah, very harsh academics, but at the same time fun with friends, and also taught me a lot more how to live with people in the same room. Like we were 3 roommates from different cities, different culture. Coming together and making our best possible way to interact and to learn from each other. So excellent exposure. Very, very thankful for that. Though and that those days, like I would feel, oh my God, I have to go back to Bellary. So, but retrospectively,
oh, it's so nice, my room, my space. Now you have to go back to that hot, scorching weather.
Yes. But retrospectively, looking back, yes, it was a very good experience, and definitely added to me as a person and built my personality to an extent.
Wow, nice. Yeah, medical college always shapes you, definitely. Now, you have described today, and today's time you said you were a visionary, and that too you said you were over mature for your age also. So you must have already thought in your medicine कि मुझे आगे क्या करना है. Like you said, okay, I have to do my PG, I have to do XYZ, and I have to do something in healthcare. That must be a thought because you were always ahead of your times.
Yes.
But life had very other plans for you. So after your MBBS, you told me also that you got married and then moved to US. So would you like to tell about that experience to us?
Yeah. So after I graduated, obviously everybody is preparing for their PG, and they want to specifically study some degree of super speciality. You become a physician or a surgeon. All those medical subspecialties are there. So I was thinking whether I should be pursuing my post graduation in India or abroad. So again, as I said, I always think ahead and think of 3, 4, 5 years from now, what is the situation and how should I plan for that. So I felt that and at that time it was a trend. for people to get married and go to
Go to
US, because
US,
many of
yeah.
my seniors were doing the same thing. My cousin also did the same thing. So we were like,
So it was
follow the
following
crowd, follow the crowd
Yes, yes.
type of a mentality. Because we didn't know anything better,
Ah.
and nobody was guiding us like.
Yeah, ये लोग कर रहे हैं, so that is the way you have to go forward.
Yeah, so everybody is doing it, so let
Let's
me
do it.
also do it, kind of a thing. So I was thinking that either I get married now and go to US so that I don't waste any time and pursue my post graduation there, or I do my post graduation here in India.
India.
So I had just kept both options open, and it just happened
Okay.
that my marriage got settled, and then
So arranged marriage.
yeah, it was an arranged marriage. So went there. So just
How was the
studied.
experience in US? Because totally a very different cultural shift. India, say, and you're very young. You're not like you're experienced person and then getting married, so you know about things. The first time going to US after marriage and then studying there and working there. How was that experience?
It was very good. Yes, definitely. It was a culture shock. It was a very different way of living, a different type of people, and how do you talk to them? What do you tell them? Everything was new, and luckily it was a learning process, and I had my family support. And so I could go through those exams, and my cousin, my 2-year senior cousin, who was already in the US, so she was also guiding me. How do you finish your step 1, step 2?
So you had some help.
Some help, and those days emails had just come in, so everybody started creating their email IDs. Still, we did not have cell phones, so it was still landlines.
In US also? Same?
Yes, we did not have cell phones. At least I did not have cell phones. So probably I got cell phone around 2001, 2. That was the first time that I got. First, it was like a walkie-talkie,
the big Nokia ka.
huge phone.
Yes.
And then we graduated into
The smaller versions.
smaller versions of phone. So it was definitely again a very, very enriching experience, studying for my USMLE boards, attending those interviews, harsh weather, winters in New York
And
City.
marriage. And living
marriage,
with a person whom you didn't know and building a relationship. So was it little tough?
It is always tough. Anything in life you want to do is tough. There is
But staying with a new person, building that relationship, and then exploring US.
Exploring, yeah.
US you must have explored at that time because no kid, nothing, both of you together.
Yes, traveled.
So that's nice. And during your residency, you became a mother also. So how did that motherhood, how are you balancing motherhood with your career?
Oh, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was really tough. But I had to do it. So I decided, we always thought that we will come back to India after my residency. That was the plan from the beginning. So with that plan in mind, I'm like, as I said, I'm always a thinker, planner,
plan ahead.
Plan. In this case, probably I planned 20 years, 20 years since we were coming back to India. I wanted to have a child, probably, which is now a very controversial topic about birth citizenship, right?
Yes, now it is actually very controversial.
Yeah, controversial, but so far it has been like you give birth to, if you're born in US, you get US citizenship.
Yeah.
So I was again thinking 20 years ahead, what if my child wants to come back to US? Anyway, I'm here, and what will my child say that, Uma, you were in the US, why didn't you give birth to me there? I would have had options. Yeah, I had already was thinking. So then I had only one option, that to give birth during my residency, because I was thinking I will go back to India after my residency. So I chose a time when first year is really brutal, even in the US. It's 80 hours was is what we work, and if actually we work more than that, but still the compliance was for 80 hours. So if you go more than 80 hours, we were supposed to be telling our superiors, and they would do some adjustments in our call schedule and all that. every fourth day I was on 16-hour call.
My God. And in that process, you became a mom.
Yeah, and then 12-hour shifts, then 24-hour duties. 1 month was completely night duties, 12-hour night duties. So, and there was no maternity benefit. So we get 4 weeks of off every year. And if you extend that off, you're supposed to extend your residency because you need to complete.
So how did you manage?
Complete that. So that's how I had to do it.
My God.
Definitely, my parents were there, my in-laws were there, so the support was there. But I just left my newborn, who was like 4 weeks old, at home and went back to my postings.
Must be really heartening actually for a mother initially, you know, because
definitely.
Yeah, but then you have to balance both.
Yeah. I hope now she is enjoying her life in New York and
so you did a right decision. You planned very good ahead that now she's in US.
Yeah, she had that option.
Yeah.
Whether she wants to continue her graduation here or she want to go back to US and do her graduation. And she opted for going back, and
that was a very good decision which you made. Which is say that कभी कोई plan ahead नहीं करना चाहिए, but yes, planning ahead also has its advantage.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Now, motherhood also was there, and you were enjoying with your kids sometime because you had good support. But there was a dramatic turn of events in your life where you all had to come back to India. Now, when you came back, it was both financial pressure and even professional pressure because everything you left in US and you came to India. So how did you cope up with that pressure?
Until I came back to India, I actually did not have any career per se. It was like I was continuously MBBS, then study for MLE, then do my residency, and there I was in India. You know, and 1 year I worked as a hospitalist, and that was it. So I really did not even have time to think what was going on in my life, what is it that I want, and what is it that I want as a person, as a family, or as a professional. So coming back to India, I think that is when I started actually sitting down and thinking about myself, like, okay, now what?
Yes.
Here I am, so what do I do? So Columbia Asia came across. That was an opportunity that I really value and treasure, and that was actually my first career path. You know,
yes, we will talk about that.
Yeah.
That is coming to your professional journey, which we'll definitely cover because doctors की journey बिना profession के कुछ होती नहीं है. Because we doctors are made only professionally. But before that, let's do some small bit of activity where your hobby, which you told me, I remember, is also making rangolis at home, and you've done a lot of rangolis for your home and maybe from your office also. So we'll do a small activity. I'll give you 2 minutes and you have to make a rangoli here. Okay, are you game for it, Dr. Chandrika?
Yes, definitely.
Wow. Wow, what a beautiful rangoli you have made, Dr. Chandrika. It is really good, and that too in 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, Preeti.
Now
it's like something that I do in and out, and every festival I make sure I do the rangoli even today at my house. So it's natural.
Well, it comes to you naturally. And you enjoy doing it.
I enjoy doing it.
Wow, seeing a doctor with a very different hobby, because doctors को क्या होता है? Clinic जाना, काम करना, and you being a medical director, entrepreneur, and a lot of other accolades to your name. When you are doing rangoli, amazing. Hats off. So now let's come back to the professional journey. You said that when you came to India, you joined Columbia Asia. And in Columbia Asia, you found a path to self-discovery. What was that self-discovery that you found there?
Yeah. So all this time, as I was telling you, that it was continuously, life was just moving too fast. So studies and child, and then coming back to India, and my sisters were also getting settled at that time in their own life. So it was just one thing after the other. So never had time to sit back and say, okay, who am I? What do I want professionally or as a person? So that is when I started working in Columbia, Asia. Of course, I started working as a physician, and I tried to bring in a concept called hospitalist or hospital
Hospitalist.
medicine
Okay.
concept in India. What I used to do in US, I kind of modified it for the Indian scenario, and we implemented it. So clinically, I was doing that work, and along the way, I started. Looking at processes, the systems, and
administration.
in administration. So my mind was going towards that, and my seniors, my boss, and my mentors, they recognized that I was very good at this. So they encouraged me. They used to give me a lot of projects to do, whether it was auditing insurance cases, or whether it was streamlining something in Columbia, Asia. So Columbia, Asia was also new at that time, and we just had one running hospital.
When are we talking? What is the timeline we are talking about?
2007-8.
Very young, very young.
Yeah,
And you brought you brought out the
concepts, yeah. So NABH had just started in India 2005, and hospitals started enrolling in NABH audit. So people like me who had worked in Western systems could bring in some of those value add to our Indian system at that particular point of time, because we worked there. We knew how JCI works, what are the systems you have to put in place, what are the process that you have to put in place. That kind of interested me. So like, this is very good. And I couldn't see myself just doing patient care, just managing diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, this was like a cocktail, and it was the same all the time. The only change that we would see is like during fever season, you have some acute cases of cough, cold, fever, and dengue. But otherwise, this was like routine. Every day we were doing the same thing. So
this was like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I know. That is a time that I also realized that I don't like this routine. I need challenge. I need to challenge myself all the time. So I thought like admin was giving me that challenge, because every day you're facing something new. Every day you have to strategize. Every day you have to plan. Every day you have to think ahead. And plan for the future, how to be ahead of everybody else in the business. So I think that was a very fertile ground for me. So that is how my thought process started evolving towards administration, and then I started taking little small responsibilities and projects, and my administrative journey started from there. And then along the way, I said I have to equip myself with knowledge as well, because I was developing skills on the job, but I needed the knowledge as well.
Yes, we'll come to that. Now, we as doctors, like I'm also a doctor, we are tuned to see patients. It is there in the system. The minute anyone says, "Mujhe khansi ho rahi hai," suddenly you know before they ask, you'll say, "Oh, why did you take this antibiotic?" So now you moved from a medical practitioner to an administrator. Didn't you feel like connecting both of them, or did you connect both of them?
Yeah, definitely I connected both of them. So being a doctor and being in an administrative field in a hospital definitely gives you that edge. So you are able to think from both the sides, and you're able to make those changes, and you are in a position of authority where you can bring in those changes. And you're not just talking about it, but you're doing it, and you have to do it, because if you have to be a good administrator. So converting those problem statements to solutions, and implementing those solutions at the grassroots level is something that I could see as an administrator. So it was
So
very
you married
satisfying.
both of them like this,
yes,
you married the patient care and the administration together.
Definitely.
Wow. And in that journey, you also started reading about and doing certification in finance, in medical laws, and etc. You name it. And that may be because of your habits.
Yes, because of my habit, of course, because I always like to learn
more.
and like to keep myself engaged. And I'm also very focused learner. Like I don't just read random books, random things. So if I want to, there is something that I'm reading, there is a purpose to it. So purpose-driven reader.
Okay.
So that is how I put it.
So you wanted to learn about finance and administration and everything.
Yes. So what is what the hell is hospital administration? I had no idea, how do
because
you
you were a
run
physician,
hospital? I was a physician. I would just go do my rounds,
Right.
see my patients, prescribe, that was my life. I had no idea what goes on behind the
thing,
scenes.
yes.
So how does a medical administrator work? What is quality? What are these KPIs? What are these KRAs?
I know
what
these
is
are jargons at that time for a doctor.
revenue, EBITDA, COGS, DSO days, like everything was like going above my head.
Yeah.
So I had to, whenever I used to sit in the administrative meetings, I would make a note of all these jargons, come back home and then read about them. Read about them, and that's how I kind of got into MBA and then medical law and ethics,
Oh my
and
God.
then
Everything you did,
and then medical quality,
and
and
more of-
loads and loads of certificates. Certificates. So it was not only like I wanted to develop as a holistic person, not just focused on one area or the other.
Right.
So I also studied a lot of leaders. So what does this leader do? So that was another habit of mine which has greatly helped me. I was crazy about reading people's stories. Whoever they are, whatever their position they are in, if they are very good, it could be a film star, or it could be a political leader, or it could be somebody in the corporate world, or it could be a doctor. I would grab any material that I would get and read about them, their thought process. Why did they do what they did? How did they evolve as a person? How did they make themselves able to do that job?
Right.
So everywhere I could figure out that if you have to grow and if you have to become a good leader, you have to grow holistically. It is not one thing or the other. You have to be good in your core subject. I have to keep in touch with my medical protocols. There is no question about it. So there are changing guidelines for managing diabetes. There are changing guidelines in managing hypertension. I cannot. No, I don't know everything, but I have to know what is important. As a physician, I need to know that.
Right.
And of course, as an administrator, I need to know more. I need to know about OBG. I need to know about surgery. I need to know about. Of course, I will not know to the extent of OBG gynecologists know about their subject.
But you should know
But
about
I need to know certain things which are red flags. Red flags
the norms
in
the administration.
The norms in the administration, because I need to speak that language with the doctors.
Right.
Otherwise, they will not be able to relate to me. They will not be able to connect with me. So I need to know, because as an administrator or as a business person, you know that you have an internal customer and you have an external customer, right? So the internal customers for us is our doctors, is our administrative staff, is our nursing staff. These are all our customers, internal customers. So I need to speak their language. I need to understand them, and I need to empathize with them, and I need to see how I can help them as an administrator. And external customers are, of course, our patients. So I need to, connect with them as well. So your core knowledge has to be there. So a lot of times what happens when doctors graduate to become administrators, they miss out on clinical knowledge.
Yes, absolutely true. They just enter that stream of being a head on the medical administration.
Yeah, but it is very important to keep in touch with the medicine, which is your core strength and the core knowledge. And of course, as administrative skills, and then comes the other skills like communication skills, presentation skills, and how you speak, how you communicate. The same thing you can communicate in two different ways, and either you convey the message or you kind of create more problems.
Absolutely.
So balancing all those things you have to learn. Some of it is natural, but many of it you need to sharpen those skills.
Right.
You need to sharpen those skills. So all that happened during my journey in Columbia, Asia. And of course, my daughter was growing up and she was in
coming
school.
To that also. How did you manage it?
So it was very easy because I had to make her study, right? Like every day evening after 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock, she was studying. So I had nothing else to do but to study with her. So I didn't want, I didn't want to be watching Netflix. I didn't want to be watching something, on TV while making her study. It doesn't work like that. So you need to also show them that you are involved and either teach them or you study.
Right.
So I completely took advantage of that time. and while she is studying, helping her, and I was also studying, so it was like win-win for both.
people. Yeah, both studying in their own respective domains.
Yes.
Nice. And now I've read a lot of your interviews. You have given many interviews in different publication, that is publishers and everything with them. Now, in those interviews, I've seen your professional journey, and you are a person who has been described as a visionary. That is, you like to change things also. So how did that happen, and how did you enter into this entrepreneur journey, and started Anastomos?
Yeah. So, as I said, I always like to be a problem solver, and not somebody who just looks at the problem, say, oh, this problem, and crib about it.
Yes.
So, I want to be out there and take chances, take risks, and see how and what I can do in the given situation. That has always been the way I have taught, and the way I have also shaped my career. Always taking risk, always doing new initiatives. And I was very fortunate that my bosses in Columbia Asia or HCG, wherever I've worked, just gave me that free hand. And now at Even or my own startup Anastomos or various other places I work as advisor. So there's so many startups. So I was in a very secure environment, Columbia Asia and HCG. Then I decided, okay, now I had enough of same routine of Columbia Asia, HCG, very secure environment, right? So, and I was also at a time where I thought I can take some risks, because before that, any risk I was little averse because of financial instability and things like that. But at that point, I thought I am in a position where I can take risk, little bit of risk, definitely. And jumped into startup world. So it's like
Anastomos. What do you do there? What is the difference? What you're trying to bring to the world, to the healthcare domain, actually?
Yeah. So Anastomos is a networking platform. So it's like what you can call it as LinkedIn for doctors.
Oh wow.
So doctors and healthcare professionals can sign up, and you have loads of things that you can do. You can post about your conferences. You can post about your research work, and it's very medically driven. So it's all about doctors and healthcare and jobs. And we also have a complete workflow for locums. So locum is a job that is so specific for the healthcare industry where we are needed 24/7. So it's very difficult to find people to work in the last nth minute. So here is a platform that helps to connect the professional with the hospital or any other healthcare domain, so that the people can easily access each other. So that is Anastomos. So I'm also advisor at Even Healthcare, which is trying a new way of providing healthcare delivery to people, where they're combining insurance and the payer and provider model. So the insurance products along with the provider model of telehealth clinics and hospitals coming together. Okay. So there is a startup in onco space which I'm working with. There's new areas that are evolving now, that is gut microbe, so the gut-mind relation. So I'm very, very interested in that area as well, because it is throwing up so many new things that we never thought of about the relationship between food, the gut, the microbe, and the various illness.
Right. So you started your entrepreneur journey in 2021 after moving from the corporate world. You took a plunge. And how has that experience been for you, Dr. Chandrika?
It's been again a roller coaster ride. I guess nothing in life is like a sweet walk, easy walk for anyone, and it's been the same thing for me. Of course, I was in a very protected environment for 13 years in Columbia Asia, and then 2.5 years at HCG. Was doing very well professionally. But something, at that time I was thinking, what next? The same bug keeps, I think, biting me, saying that, I can't be doing the same thing over and over again.
I want to do something different.
Something different, and also looking at the way the healthcare is moving. 20 years back, we were thinking of private healthcare. streamlining our systems and processes, getting NABH, getting JECO, JCI, and these type of thought process were there 20 years back. Now it's been beaten, right? We are 20 years ahead now.
Right.
And the systems are in place. Most of it is structurally taken care of, and even the infrastructure became very cookie cutter. Everybody started doing the same thing. The buildings were looking nice, the suites were good, and the ambience. Everybody were focusing on all these aspects, the bells and whistles and patient care and all that. So I was thinking, so what next? So
these are all the common things.
Everybody is doing.
Yeah,
so what next? As I was thinking about this, at that is a time I came across even healthcare. So they were trying to do something new, something very innovative.
Okay.
So which we call it as a pay wider model. So
Pay wider model.
Pay wider
क्या होता
model,
है वो?
where we act like a both payer and a provider. So as a payer, we work with insurance companies. We have insurance agency license, and we try to also kind of bring in new products which covers end to end. As you know, in India we don't have insurance coverage for outpatient. So this is something that we are trying to do to get outpatient coverage, and then the inpatient coverage. And as a provider, we have telehealth platform, we have clinics, and then we are venturing into hospitals. So it's an ecosystem that we are trying to cover, to create, and trying to balance all the elements in this ecosystem, that is the patient, the hospital, and the insurance provider, so that we don't overstep and do something in a way that it tilts the balance. So everybody kind of coexist in the same environment.
Understood.
So where clinical protocols are important, outcomes are important, at the same time cost is important. So that is something I thought was very innovative, and again a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
So I plunged, I got into it, and then I also kind of invested in Anastomos, a platform where we kind of look at holistic development of professionals, medical professionals in soft skills, and helping them with placements and those type of things.
क्यों किया है? मतलब you are very happy now. You had moved on from that concept कि no, I want to do something new, and then you said you went to Even and you found something new. Then what made you jump and do a venture of your own as Anastomos?
Yeah, that was something that was bothering me, because being an insider of a healthcare industry, and I know where my people struggle.
Right.
So we are very good in our core clinical knowledge. We mug up things, we kind of know what to do and what to say clinically. But we struggle when it comes to soft skills, communication skills, conflict resolution, handling difficult situation. So that kind of made me think, why not create some platform which is focused on that, and also finding locums at the right time,
which is not there in
India.
Yeah.
Not the locums are only for junior doctors.
Yes.
So we don't look at locum as a career, as a something that even seniors can do.
Right.
So the platform helps to bridge and connect the two. So so that one, and of course I'm now completely into startup world. So there's a startup in onco space, there's a startup in gut microbe. There is so much of work happening in gut microbe and mind connection, chronic disease connection. So there's a lot of work on genome, personalized care. So these are all kind of future. So the like the person I am, like always thinking of future, thinking of future trends and future.
And that's
so that is so that I think exactly I get attracted to these things, and somehow they also kind of find me.
Yeah. I know, it's like it's both ways. Yeah. Too much of heat has happened. Now we are talking about professional. On this show, we normally talk about personal, but doctor ko bina profession ke, you can't, the profession doesn't
no
leave
one
the doctor.
without the other.
So now let's do some little bit of a relaxation. Now you have told me that you have a hobby of Rangoli. Also, you have other hobbies. So can you just enumerate other hobbies, because doctors की hobbies मैंने सुनी नहीं है, I've not heard it. डॉक्टर को पूछो क्या पसंद है, हाँ ट्रैवल कर लेते हैं और घर से जाते हैं, पेशेंट देखते हैं, and you come back home. But you're a little different, like Maggie hot and sweet tomato chili sauce. So what are your different hobbies, Dr. Chandrika?
I love gardening. My father was an avid gardener, so I think it's in the blood. My mother loves plants, so I do go. I have a farm where I do spend some time. Though I would love to spend more time, hopefully in future I'll be able to do a lot more in that space of sustainability, go green initiatives, and these type of things. Definitely, that is something that is there in my mind. Though I don't devote too much of time on that. And crochet is another thing I do. So a little bit of here and there. Again,
So
you know,
when do you
it's
do
not
it? When
something.
you're traveling in the car? Like
No, no.
Kajol? When we see him on the Insta reels, the Kajol is sitting and doing crocheting.
No, sometimes in the evenings, and so far I've not been able to create many things, but definitely I've created one muffler and one
Is it?
shawl and these type of things.
Wow. A
Uh,
doctor
yeah.
with all these artistic skills.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love to put mehendi.
Arey,
Yeah.
I should come home one day
Yeah.
and I should give you my hand. कि भाई लगा दीजिए
Definitely,
मेहंदी.
definitely.
So now let's do, when you're talking about crocheting, it's quite interesting. So would you like to show our audience your skill of crocheting?
Definitely, I
So
would love to.
let's do again a small activity to lighten up the atmosphere, and let's give you some crocheting here. So let's see how you do it, and meanwhile, while you're doing it, can you explain how is it done?
Oh, how is it done? That
But how do you do it? You can do it and we'll see.
I should.
Ah.
Okay. So Preeti, I'm going to create a rose for you.
Oh, wow.
This is like I got the red woolen so that I'll give you a red rose.
Wow, I'll keep it off for life now.
Yeah. So this is my present. So so I started doing this. I just create whatever I feel, and there are books or internet that kind of I go to and do. So this is very easy. You just do some chain stitch, and then there is something called pillars, like those type of things. So it's not rocket science, definitely not.
Not for
So-
you, but for me, definitely it is rocket science. मेरे को तो लग रहा है ये हो क्या रहा है? My God, wow.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not holding the way it should be held and all that stuff. I'm not like a professional in it, but yeah, I just do it
Yeah,
for
but
the.
you're
Yeah.
making the rose.
Yes,
Wow.
definitely. So when it is finished, I'll definitely give it to you.
Yes, I'll be awaiting this rose and I'll keep it as a memento. मैंने कहा कितना अच्छा है, personalized rose. Wow.
Yes.
Nice. Wow, amazing. And I'm looking forward to that rose. So now we'll come to that part of the journey where is the most important part of Doc Diaries, the inspiration. The inspiration behind Dr. Chandrika. Okay, you are a mother, you are an entrepreneur, you are a medical director, XYZ. There are many accolades to you. How do you balance all this with family?
It's all about work-life harmony and also what is important for you.
Right.
So there are a lot of distractions, especially in today's age, with so many websites being there,
Right.
and you're constantly on your phone, and phone can engage you endlessly.
Right.
But it is all about self-control, discipline, and having a right perspective.
Right.
So what matters to you? There are people who say that I don't want to do anything. I'm just happy the way I am, and let the life go. But I want to. For me, I have to make some meaning out of my life. I like to do something which is meaningful
Right.
for myself, for my immediate family, and for my people around me. And if there is something that I can do to the community as well. So that kind of drives me and keeps everything in perspective.
Right.
I don't waste time unnecessarily. If something that doesn't fit in my scheme of things, I won't do it. It's as easy as that. I just keep things very, very simple.
Not complicated.
Not complicated. No, don't complicate it. Don't think too much about it.
Right.
Does this affect me? is, does this help me in my career or my family? Does this help me in any way, personally or professionally? If the answer is no, it's a clear, for me it's very clear, I'm not doing it.
Understood.
So, and also I take help of people. It's not that I'm like a superwoman who wants to do everything, and it's not that I'm a great cook and I'm great cleaner, and then also I'm a great person in the office. But for work that needs to be done, so I have people to take care of things which can be done by others. There are things that I have to do. I cannot outsource. For example, being there for my child, right? For emotionally being there with her when she is not well or when she has problem. So those things I cannot outsource. I have to do it myself.
So what you can do, you do, and what you can delegate, you delegate.
Delegate. Ironing clothes, I can delegate.
Right.
Washing vessels, I can delegate.
Yeah, but taking care of
taking
the baby,
care of
no.
and taking care of my parents, taking care of my sisters, or taking care of my child, my family, my extended family, my in-laws, whatever it is, people come first.
Right.
Yeah. So, and my people come first, and
Absolutely.
then everybody
Absolutely.
else.
If you are not happy yourself, then you can't make others happy.
Others happy.
Absolutely. I resonate with that 100%. Now, you also mentioned about not having regrets. This statement of yours, it empowers you and gives you the risk-taking ability. Would you like to throw some light on that?
Definitely. Like, there's no point in thinking about something which has already gone past. So you have to think. So in a current situation, if I do this, what is the consequence of that? If I don't do this, what is the consequence? And everything you cannot do right. Sometimes, you take decisions at that moment, what you feel is the right thing to do. So you have to accept it. Every decision comes with some pros and cons. And you cannot keep on lingering in the past and think that, okay, I should have done that, I should have done this. There's no point because it's already gone.
Right.
So you have to think, okay, what next?
Right.
So that kind of gives you so much of freedom. From guilt, from unnecessary burdening
And
your mind,
even regrets also.
and you just keep moving, and you accept the outcomes. You accept what are those outcomes that are of your decisions, and then move on. And you have to make peace with yourself and with those outcomes.
Wow, very clear in your head. Very nice, very, inspiring, I would say. Now, life is mostly of ups and downs. It's never a straight line. If it's a straight line, it's an ace stole. So what advice will you give to people, to the generation, that how to manage the downside of the life?
The first and most important thing I would say is to know yourself. And it takes time to know yourself. So don't commit to anything, any relationship or anything in your life which not only impacts you but also the other person. So I feel that people, younger generation, they should first understand themselves. What are they as a person? What are their likes and dislikes? What do they want to do personally and professionally?
Right.
And then commit to long-term relationships or long-term goals or whatever it is, and be very resilient, because life always throws a curveball at you, and it's never, as you said, it's never a straight line.
Yeah.
So so having a long-term vision, but having flexibility in how you achieve that long-term vision, and being resilient and agile is very important.
Right.
Very important. So that is, it's not only about the destination, right? It's also about the journey.
Yes.
About the journey. And journey is more important, because the moment you reach the destination, you're always looking, okay, what next?
Right.
So that destination is never going to give you that happiness. It's always the journey. And also in the journey, you have to also enjoy that moment. And there are things which will not come back. You have to enjoy that also. Like, for example, 21st birthday of my daughter, or 50th birthday of mine, or 50th anniversary of my parents. It's never going to come back again.
So enjoy that
So
moment.
enjoy that moment. The little vacations, little celebrations.
So do you do that apart
Yes,
from your
of
schedule?
course, of course, of course.
Do you have that much of
that.
time?
I love that.
We also came to know that you are a party person also. That reminded me, you're a party person, and you throw parties. So how does those parties give you the energy back? Do they give you the energy? And why do you throw parties?
I love people. I love
Okay.
to be with people, and this is one of the way to connect
Right.
and let your hair loose and be yourself and
Not be the
enjoy.
doctor in Chandrika.
Enjoy. So I take people to my farm and I host parties at home.
Wow.
So it could be intimate, 2 people, 3 people, to as big as 50 people.
Oh, you can manage 50 people? Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And in amidst all that professional journey, the way you look, you are not that. That is why I say, doctor के कोट के पीछे झांकना है. So we are seeing Dr. Chandrika as Chandrika, not doctor. Wow, amazing, amazing. Now, हमारी जिंदगी में ना कभी खुशी कभी गम होते हैं. There are setbacks, there are disappointments. In your life also, you must have been. So how do you handle those setbacks and disappointment? Any mantra you have, okay, this is the way I handle my setbacks, because everyone has setbacks.
Yeah. No, as I said, you have to have the long-term vision, and the long-term vision or whatever your goal is, and the temporary setbacks will pass, and it at that particular point of time they look as a big thing for you. It's like a big boulder, big hurdle that is there. So you have to keep looking for solutions. You have to keep looking for solutions. You have to work towards solutions. And it is not just the positive attitude. People say, oh, be positive, everything will work out. No, sorry, it doesn't work out. It doesn't sort out by itself.
It is only theoretical.
Yeah. You have to be positive.
Right.
But you have to think of practical solutions. And most importantly, you have to act on it. Right? So just thinking about setbacks, feeling like a victim, crying on about it also doesn't help. Thinking very positive and thinking that the things will sort out by itself also will not work. You have to be practical. You have to be practico-optimist.
Wow, practico-optimist, a new word I've heard. Wow, is there in the dictionary?
I don't know.
We'll check it out. Nice. Very nice advice, Dr. Chandrika. Now, if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, first of all, would you give any advice? If yes, what would it be?
Not only for my younger self, to myself, I would say that I have to take things little bit more easy.
Why? You think you are being hard on yourself?
Yes, I think so, because I'm not hard on others, but I'm very hard on myself. I have to get up at 5 o'clock. I have to go to my gym. I have to
why?
I have to be very strict with my diet, and I have to focus on my work, focus on my family. I'm like always ready. Something, if somebody wants something, it will be done. So it's like that. So I feel sometimes I can relax. I can just be.
So do you have someone to tell you that hold on, nahi karna? Someone is there? Your daughter?
Yeah, daughter definitely. She says, Mama, enjoy. Mama, take care of yourself. Mama, be what you want to do. Everybody in my house is like that. They are not like forcing me to do anything. By nature, I am like that. So nobody tells me, oh, you have to do this, do this, do that. But
automatic. It is like inbuilt.
Yeah, inbuilt.
So that advice you want to give yourself.
Yes.
Or as of today is Dr. Chandrika.
Yes.
Now coming to the professional part of it, what is your vision for the healthcare industry? Do you have some vision ki jaise hota na ki being a doctor, we always feel that we need to contribute to the healthcare industry. So what is your vision for the healthcare industry?
Vision for healthcare industry, definitely we have come a long way from where we were in 20 years, 30, 40 years back. Privatization of healthcare has happened. There's so many investors have come in, and there's so much of things are happening in healthcare industry. So we have all the technology, we have everything that any advanced developed countries have. We have everything. So my vision is that the core clinical governance, the core clinical work of our hospitals have to be featured more than looking at how much of investments have come in, how much of PE funding, VC funding has come in, what is your valuation, how the stocks are doing. Yeah. Yes, that is important for survival. But who am I? What is the core? What is the soul of healthcare? The
base.
Yeah, so that is what has to come in the forefront. So when we are reading, say, an annual report of a hospital,
Right.
of a listed company or private company, I would rather like to see how many patients you was treated, what was your clinical outcome. So not just that they have done 100 knee replacement. I want to
Not
see
the numbers, the behind the
yeah,
number.
you did 100 knee replacement where all 100 knee replacement indicated, and what was the outcome of those knee replacements.
Not
Did-
just
just-
beyond the
yeah,
numbers,
yeah, beyond the numbers.
touching lives. Actually, we should do that. I think. Yeah.
So the clinical governance, the clinical outcomes have to become the core, and that have to be shown as what healthcare industry is all about, and not just the investment, the valuation, and the revenue numbers and these type of things. So I think that is my vision. I hope things
Yes.
change, and we'll be able to see some changes in that. And where India and doctors already we have made a lot of impact globally, but I would like to see that our papers are quoted more. This is a study done in India. This is how they have managed a
Right.
case. This is how they have done this treatment, and we need to refer those studies and implement global protocols.
Right.
So that is my vision for our country.
Amazing. Hats off, madam. But really good. And we need more Dr. Chandrikas like this for this. So, coming to here, you have had a long journey, a very long and very inspiring journey, both personally and professionally. Now, there are people who have just finished MBBS and they are, normally when we do MBBS, we think doctor lag gaya naam ke aage and we are very happy, but they forget that there's a tunnel. Still, the tunnel is very long. So, what is the one piece of advice that you would like to give those doctors who have just cleared their MBBS?
Yeah. Most importantly, they need to know why they have become a doctor.
Right.
It's not for just it's a good profession. It's not it's just good to call you as a doctor so and so. It is a commitment. It is a commitment to the society. It is a commitment to the human mankind that you are there to serve them. That empathy has to be there. That service orientation has to be there. I know, you're not I'm not saying you have to do something free, but you can charge or you can make money. You have to earn your livelihood.
Right.
That is fine, but you should not forget the core of why you are a doctor.
Right.
So that is very important. That is very important. And after a while, medicine is only 5 minutes. Like if I have a 15-minute conversation with a patient, in 2 minutes I know what is their problem.
Right.
What am I dealing with? What is
Right.
a medical condition I'm dealing with? And of course now there are so many diagnostics, lab, radiology, so many gadgets,
yeah.
tools that you have. You can diagnose things, but after diagnosing, how do you
Communicate
to the patient? How do you deal with them? And they have their own socio-economical issues that you need to consider. So how do you bring all this together? That is where your skills come in. Now in the world of AI, now in the world of chat GPT and these type of things, knowing and the knowledge is not something that is unique. You don't have to scan through so many books and read and mug up stuff and remember things. But how do you put it all in perspective? And bring that empathy, bring that emotion, bring that human touch is very important. So that is the aspect I want the younger generation of doctors to learn and imbibe, and that has to become a part of them.
Right.
That has to become like a
Yes.
fabric.
Yes. It should be again inbuilt. Yes. They have to imbibe, not inbuilt. They have to imbibe this.
Yes,
now.
yes.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. So thank you, Dr. Chandrika, for being here on the show and sharing such a wonderful journey, both personally and professionally. And you are a doctor with an extra bit, I would say, and a visionary. So from Doc Diaries, I thank you from bottom of my heart of being here and a small memento to remember us by.
Thank you, Priti.
You can keep it one thing, लेकिन हम लोग को मिलते नहीं है ना छोटे छोटे से trophies.
Yeah.
जैसे बचपन में मिलते थे. So I said, let us give some trophies for people who are on the show, who are who have dared to come out and share their personal experience. And it's not easy to share personal experiences, that I understand. And also, one more thing, you drew a very nice rangoli, and you've done a beautiful crocheting, and people who come on our show don't go empty-handed. A
Oh.
small token of appreciation from Dog Diaries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show, and thank you once again from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. So guys, on today's episode, we uncovered the personal journey of Dr. Chandrika. Inspiring one, right? Beyond the white coat. What did we learn from this? Number one, be flexible, be strong, and balance is possible in your life. When you do balancing in your life of your professional and personal career, everything is possible. On that note, if you like this episode, please subscribe to our channel, shower your love on us, and keep watching for more episodes because picture to abhi baki hai mere dost. Har Har Mahadev.